Do you have a negative vibe between you and somebody you know? Maybe your partner, your spouse, your kids, a coworker? Hi, I'm Cora Naylor, emotion code practitioner. And tonight we want to talk about some of our relationships with people that are close to us. Could be, like I said, coworker, spouse, friends, in-laws. Um, in Dr. Brad's book that we'll be talking about a little bit later, which is the foreword's done by Tony Robbins. Dr. Brad says, trapped emotions can create a wall around your heart that can block you from living life to the fullest. Your subconscious mind uses the energy or trapped emotions to create a barrier or shield around your heart. Literally, it creates a wall of energy around your heart to protect it. When you have a heart wall, you are not able to give love as well as you might because the love energy that's in your heart cannot get out well. So, maybe you're kind of wondering, like, why do I have this weird vibe with people? And why do certain people kind of irritate you and you're not even sure why? So, over time, whenever you've had relationships, past relationships, if you haven't processed the emotions that have gone along with that relationship, your body will start to create this wall of energy around your heart to protect you. But the nice thing to know is that you can release that wall. And when you do, you'll notice a shift in how you feel around these people. Um, and there's lots of different heart walls you can have. You can have a heart wall in general with the world. You can have a heart wall with yourself. Then you can have a heart wall with all different people. Like I said, coworkers, friends, family, any of your relatives. Maybe you have a business. It might even be your clients or prospective clients. So using the emotion code, we can help to release that wall and start to live a better life. So tonight, I'm going to be talking a little bit about how the emotion code works. And then I'll be looking for a couple of volunteers. So to volunteer is really easy. And if anyone's on here live and you just want to comment, say where you're coming from, I'll give you a shout out. It's nice to have people on here live. Thanks so much for joining me. So in a few minutes, I'll go through, how the emotion code works. And if you want to volunteer to release a heart wall, just comment below and tell me in the comment who you want to release it. So you don't have to necessarily give me a name, but you could just say it's your son, your daughter, your spouse, your partner, your coworker. And then subconsciously, I'll be able to connect and find out who that is for you. And it's really interesting how it works. Everybody experiences it a little bit differently. I did work with a client. She was a single mom, and we released her heart. Well, not having any expectations of anything. She wasn't really looking to meet, a romantic partner or anything like that. We just happened to, as part of her session, release her heart wall. And not long afterwards, she met somebody and got into a relationship. And she was super surprised because it was not something that she was looking for. And, sometimes, especially with relationships, we don't clean up those emotions after a relationship goes wrong. And, a lot of times people end up kind of going out with the same type of people all the time. And that may be because, we haven't resolved those past emotions in those relationships. And once you do, another thing that's really interesting when people release a heart wall is they often feel more connected with people. Sometimes, prior to releasing the heart wall, you might feel, like you don't belong, you never fit in anywhere. And then when you release the heart wall, people just react differently to you. So it's a really interesting process to go through. And if you're kind of wondering, what is this emotion code thing and how does it work? Again, it is based on this book by Dr. Bradley Nelson called The Emotion Code. So, if you watch the video and you think it's something kind of cool, I highly recommend getting the book, taking a read through, and you can learn how to do this on yourself or your friends and family. And if you want to get certified, you can go ahead and do that, but you don't have to be certified to work on your family and friends. In this book, which is kind of cool, it was the foreword was done by Tony Robbins. So Dr. Brad and his wife went to Tony Robbins's house for dinner, and they got to experience a emotion code session with Dr. Brad. And in here, Tony actually says that I believe the discoveries in this book can change our understanding of how we store emotional experiences, and in doing so, change our lives. The emotion code has already changed many lives around the world, and it is my hope that millions more will be led to use this simple tool to heal themselves and their loved ones. So something cool, because Tony Robbins knows a lot of different techniques for doing stuff. And if you've ever been to one of his workshops, it's pretty amazing. So I'm just going to quickly go through how a session will work. Again, if you're watching live, I know there's a few of you on there, just comment below and comment and say hi and where you're calling from. I'd like to hear. So the emotion code works on finding the emotions that are trapped in your body, releasing those so that you can move on with your life. And trapped emotions can be from so many things. A lot of it definitely is from our childhood. You know, last month in May, we worked on food cravings and stuff around food. Talked about a lot of people that, you know, I worked with that we've deleted the food cravings, or we can also help with things like boredom eating, or feeling like you have to clean your plate, or maybe having a big plate, or maybe you just want to get more motivated to exercise or eat more vegetables. All those things can have trapped emotions involved with them. So all these emotions are found on the emotion code chart. There's 60 emotions on the chart, and they figure the average adult has about 200 or 300 trapped emotions. You know, depending on what your life was like, you may have more or less. And the cool thing is, you know, in order for me to work with you, we don't have to be in person to do it. I do most of my sessions by video call, or I can do it by a phone call or email. So the emotion code chart, I'll show it to you a little bit close up. I'm going to put it on here one day so you can see it. So it lists the 60 emotions in 2 columns. There's column A, column B, and then there's 6 rows. And what's interesting about all these emotions is they actually correspond with parts of the body. So the first row is to do with your heart or small intestine. Second row is the spleen or stomach. Third row is lungs and colon. Fourth row is your liver or gallbladder. Fifth row is kidneys or bladder. And the sixth row is glands or sexual organs. So any of these areas, you know, sometimes maybe you feel weird, you have stomach issues or intestinal issues. It might sometimes be, as well as physical, could have some emotions that are trapped in there. And the way I find these emotions is by using muscle testing. So there's lots of different ways to do muscle testing. Personally, if you want to find out more about different kinds, you can go on YouTube and Google it. There's tons of different ones out there. Do a search. I use what's called the ring method. So I have my 2 fingers, my ring fingers with my thumbs, and I hook them together. So when I'm asking yes and no answer questions, which is how it works, if it's a yes answer, they just stay tight. And if it's a no, they just slip through. I know it sounds kind of funny, but once you start doing it, you'll find out how easy it works. And, you know, you get the hang of it. It's pretty amazing. You can use it for a lot of different things, especially if you have, you know, indecision about stuff. Using muscle testing, just ask your subconscious, you know, should I be wearing this today or this today? Or eating this or eat this? So once you start using it, it's kind of really fun. And before I do that, in order for me to do the work on myself for you, I have to become your proxy. So that just means that once I get your permission, that I can use my body to you remove the emotions as if it's your body. And so, like I said, I need to get your permission in order to do that. And I can get that directly from you if you're an adult. If you want me to do some work on your kids, because I can work with people's kids, with your kids, I just need to get permission from you as the adult. I've also do work on animals. And again, they don't have to be in person to do them. I helped a lady with her horse that was in Colorado. You know, it can be your cat, your dog, any of those ones. And I just need permission from the owner to do that. And once we find the emotion on that chart, we're going to check what the severity is. So if you have a heart wall, you want to get, you want to do a session tonight with me as a volunteer, you can put down in the comment, again, who you want to remove, who you're having the negative vibe with, who you're having issues with in the comment, and what you think the severity is. And then I'll check with your subconscious and see if that matches up. And that's how we can tell that the emotions are gone. Sometimes with taking emotions out, it's like peeling the onion. So some issues, it's, the outside layer, it's a one and done kind of thing. And sometimes it's like peeling the layers. As we take some layers off, more stuff comes up. So sometimes we need to do multiple sessions to get things done. It's not necessarily just a one and done kind of thing. And the way we remove these emotions is by using a magnet. And the cool thing is, it doesn't have to be any special kind of magnet. You can use anything. It could be a fridge magnet. You can have fancy ones if you want. I actually just use this chart, which also just happens to be a magnet. And what I do is I swipe them 3 times over the governing meridian, which goes from the bridge of your nose down the back of your spine. And that just deletes and removes the electrical charge of the emotions, just like if you were deleting the magnetic strip off of a credit card. And sometimes they are inherited ones. If it's just a regular kind of emotion, I just do it 3 times. If it's inherited, then I'll do it 10 times. And before we get started, I will just have to make sure I'm hydrated. Because it's all about energy flow, it's important that I'm hydrated, and if it helps too, if the person I'm working on is also hydrated. So I'll just have a little drink of water while we're waiting. All right. I don't see anybody signing up to be a guinea pig for me tonight, so I guess we're going to have to leave that one for tonight. So while we're got a couple extra minutes, I'll just read you a couple of definitions. In Dr. Brad's book, he's got all the definitions of the 60 emotions, and maybe something will trigger something for you. A lot of ones that are really common. Oh, I know what it means. Love unreceived, but so, there's one we were talking about today. I was actually listening to another guy knows his call, and what's really common is one like self-abuse. So in a way, self-abuse is when you're not feeling worthy, you just don't have confidence in things. So self-abuse is like abusing yourself emotionally, which includes engaging in negative self-talk. That's the big one, right? How many of us really are confident in who we are and what we're doing, and don't once in a while kind of beat ourselves up about stuff that, most of the time isn't even true. So, that could be blaming oneself and so on. She abused herself by telling herself to stop being such an idiot all the time. Or it could also be physical, abusing yourself physically, mistreating your body. Could be by using addictive substances, not caring for your body, through lack of sleep, proper diet or nutrition, working beyond what one can or should endure, punishing or taxing oneself excessively. This abuse may help atone for sins, real or imagined, and usually is driven by anger. He abused his body by working too hard and not getting enough sleep. So if that rings a bell for you, let me know. Let's hear from you guys here. And unsupported, that's another one that comes up a lot. So whether you're unsupported in what you're doing, maybe just in your home, not getting support from your spouse for doing stuff around the place, and that's just a feeling a lack of support, help, or encouragement, feeling not provided for by another, not defended when help is needed, feeling that the burden is too heavy to bear alone. One can also feel unsupported by one's own body in case of illness, weakness, or lack of emotional mental strength. So, just keep those in mind. If you want, you can actually just go online and Google the emotion code chart and see all of the different emotions on there and see what resonates with you. And if you do want to try it out, maybe want to book a session, just put my scheduling calendar on here. You know, when we work together, we have everything on the first one. We'll work for sure on your different heart walls. And then whatever you want to work on, we can do all kinds of things. It could be bad habits, limiting beliefs. We, like I said, did around foods, fears, if you have chronic pains, any of those kinds of things are things that you can use the emotion code for. And if you want to know some more ideas, just type in the comments menu, and I'll send you a copy of my menu of a lot of different items that might just trigger some ideas for you. So thanks so much, guys, for coming and joining me tonight. And again, we're going to be doing heart walls all the month of June. So if you do come up with an idea of someone that you have one with and you want to get that cleared away, I'll be here again next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. So see you then. Bye-bye.